What's up guys? Welcome back to Channel Cardi. Today I brought something extraordinary. I give you Genesis G70 Shooting Breaker. Alright, as always, I'm gonna start with the front. Alright, what you see is the crest grille, the huge radiator grille. The one thing I like about cars these days is that most of the cars from Genesis, they have a huge grille. I really like having huge grilles in the front. If you look at the color, it's a dark chrome, which means this car has a sports package. And unfortunately, this car was released in Europe first, then in Korea, because to be honest, this is kind of like a wagon type of a vehicle. And in Korea, the wagon type is not really so popular. Even the emblem is a little bit older model, right? So you can say that this is not like newly released in South Korea. I'm pretty sure that it was released in European market first. If you look at the front, it's not too different from regular G70 models, right? All this is slight, the headlamps is no different from G70. So yeah, that's for the front. All right, so now I'm on the side. Take a look. This is a very long car, right? I'm 5'11", and I wonder how long this is gonna be if I lay down. Well, I'm not gonna lay down, but all right, well, as for the rims, black chrome again. And if you look at the caliper slightly, right? Brembo, right? And the Brembo, the sign is written or drawn in color red, which means again, it's a sports package equipped. And the rim is 19 inches and it has a Michelin tire. Personally, I really love Michelin tires. So I think this color and the colors of the rim, I think they match really well. If you look from the side, it's almost identical. It's just extended, it's just longer, and yes, that's it. Everything else is the same as a G70 sedan. It's just very longer, okay? All right, if you look at the tail lamp, okay, it's no different from the G70 sedan. I like it, but what is this? What is this? It's like what? Like this is like an unfinished project? Without this, it should have been much better. Alright, so how to open the trunk? Just below the wiper blade, we have a little button, and there is even a picture for it, so you can't miss it. Just simply press it, it opens. Yeah, it's very spacious, and if you need to, well, I guess because it's kind of like a wagon design, right? You cannot store anything tall, but if you need to like store or load up something big, you can simply just remove this board by pulling it. Then you're gonna have extra space, right? Here on the side, we have 2 levers for each side. If you want to recline, right? If you want to fold the rear seat, you can simply pull it. Let it completely fold, okay? And on the other side too. It completely folds. Okay, so you cannot stop like in the middle or recline at some point, but it's just complete fold. So just wanted to show you that. All right, so here we have a flat surface, but underneath it, let's see what we have. Nothing except a tire mobility kit, right? Instead of having, extra tire or spare tire, these cars nowadays, they provide a tire, repair kit. So that's what we have right here. Nothing special. All right, so again, when you want to close, you can simply press this button. Now it's completely closed. The shape of the rear glass is rather round, right? So I think what Genesis was trying to do is, even though this is a wagon, right? Even though this is a wagon, they are trying to emphasize that this is kind of like sports type wagon, something that is very dynamic. But again, I thought this was a one piece of glass, but I personally first thought that this was a high glossy, but actually this is a glass. So overall, I think having a wagon, one thing is that you can store many stuff in the trunk, Not anything tall, but you know, people driving wagon. All right, now I'm sitting in the back. All right, well, first thing first, like even from the back, looking at this red seat is just amazingly beautiful. Look at this seatbelt. Look at this, you know, the red leather. Oh my God, I think this is just beautiful. But anyway, enough of that. All right, take a look at my seating position, and this is my driving position. Okay, look, I was expecting my hair to touch the ceiling, but apparently it doesn't. Everybody knows how tall I am. I'm 5'11". That's 180 centimeters, right? So here I'm sitting in the back, and fortunately, right, luckily my knees are not touching the seat. So what I'm trying to tell you is that I do have leg room. It's not as so bad because G70 is not a really big sedan. This is like a mid-size, you know, sedan. But what gets me is that if you look at my shoes, right, it's basically stuck. It's basically stuck underneath the seat. So it's okay because sitting like this is not really so uncomfortable if you're driving or if you're going, you know, long distance, right? Because your hair is not touching, beautiful red Napa leather. It provides really, really good, comfortable, you know, feeling, right? But if you want to move your legs sometime while you're going somewhere, that's gonna cause you a little trouble. Other than my feet stuck underneath the seat, everything else is pretty cool. My hair is not touching. That's because unlike a G70, the C-pillar, right, the rear part of the car, it has gotten extended a little bit taller compared to the sedan model. All right, now I'm sitting in the driver's seat. All right, the first thing first again, what catches my eyes is the 3D cluster. All right, so if you move back and right, some of the pictures on the cluster, it moves with you. Oh, cool stuff. But again, wow. Take a look at this beautiful red Napa leather. Oh my God, this is another level. This is so beautiful. Oh my God, right? If you look, we have all these quilted patterns, right? That's extra money. And I think you have to add like, I don't know how much, but probably like over $1,000 for the red seat and all this quilted pattern. And even the aluminum patterns are here on the gearbox, right? Here. This is again, extra money. Money talks, baby. And here, overall, I think the colors and the buttons is very easy to reach. Like it's within your reach, right? So sometimes if you're driving a big car, you will actually have to lift yourself a little bit to reach the buttons. But this is not a really big car, so yes, everything's within your arm. All right, so as for the doorknob, like, you know, while you are hitting the brake, if you press the button inside it, like inner part, right, towards you, press this button, and then if you tap it up, then it switches to rear. And if you want to forward, again, press this button and then tap it towards the bottom. And if you want to park, simply just press P button. All right, so the most fun part of the review, test drive. All right, this is Genesis G70 shooting breaker model 2.0 turbo, right? 252 horsepower, 36 kilograms force meter of torque, and it has, what do you call it, 8-speed automatic transmission. So right now I'm on eco mode because I'm driving on a city, right? But once I see not too many cars on the road, I'm gonna switch it to comfort mode and also for the sports mode, just to feel what it does. So yes, now I use the left side blinker, and again on the cluster, it shows what's behind you. And everything else is, you know, within the reach. So it's very comfortable, and it's Genesis. This is a Korean luxury brand, right? So what you have inside is very luxurious, comfortable, and very convenient too. Everything else is so high quality, you know. So here I'm making a left turn. I'm getting all this attention because this car is newly released, so everybody is just looking at this car. The acceleration, I'm on an eco mode, so yeah, I can't really tell much torque or acceleration. Also ahead of me there are some cars with the traffic lights, so I'm not going to speed yet, but overall I'm going to test and see how it feels, how it reacts or responds to the road condition and everything. Yeah, well, the Genesis has a really good, you know, grip of the steering wheel. It feels really comfortable. All right, let me switch to comfort mode. Again, the graphic, the picture of the cluster changes. And I think this car is a rear-wheel drive with electronic suspension. So, oh, it responds really well. Oh, this is really nice. Very comfortable. I mean, the road condition is not so bad, but oh, how can it be so smooth? Yeah, I mean, even when I was driving like different car without the electronic suspension, right? They were still good, but I think, wow, this the suspension, it's another level. Oh, it's really comfortable. It seems like the suspension is preventing all these shocks and impacts that's coming up from the bottom. I think this is what money is good for. Whoa. And you know what? It's so quiet inside too. I can hardly hear anything, any noise that's coming from outside. So I'm pretty sure the windows are double layered. So quiet. Can you hear anything? I don't hear anything. You know what? One thing about this car, right now, like I didn't really floor it, but like in the beginning, right? It's rather slow, like 252 horsepower. It's much more than my 3 Series, or it's even more than my 2.2 Honda Prelude. But oh, I don't know why I feel that I'm kind of like hold back, like someone's like grabbing my shirts from the back. So once you are maintaining like maybe 60 kilometers an hour or 80 kilometers an hour, that's about like what, 40 miles, 50 miles per hour. So acceleration, the rolling from that point, it's, you know, it's pretty smooth. But from zero, like from like ground zero, from like, you know, beginning, the acceleration is rather slow. I don't understand why. Well, I'm pretty sure it will be much different if you're driving 3.3, but that's not something I'm expecting from 252 horsepower, to be honest with you. I mean, I do have a heavy foot, but, and like I told you earlier, I wasn't expecting too much because this is a wagon. You're not going to race anyone with this. But it seems like someone's holding me back from accelerating in the beginning. So like I said, again, if you are at, you know, certain speed, like right now I'm driving at 60k, and if I want to accelerate, it's not super fast, but it will go, you know. But from zero, it's rather slow. Brembo brakes, as good always. Brakes are really nice. I especially love the suspension, how it reads the road condition. Like I said, it's ready to respond to all these conditions of where you are driving. So yes, even though right now the roads are pretty bumpy, but I'm hardly moving or being shaken. So that's one good thing about having electronic suspension. And right now, what I'm driving is the sports package model, right? So if you want to add, you know, electronic suspension as an option, right, you will have to get the sports package. And also, I also have, this car also has LSD, right? But without the sports package, and if you're driving, if you choose to purchase all-wheel drive, it will be excluded. So rear-wheel drive, sports package, and that's where you can get the electronic suspension, plus the Brembo brake kit, and LSD. So, countries like South Korea, we do have 4 distinctive seasons, so it's, to be honest, it's better to get an all-wheel drive. But if you're not, people like me, I don't really drive if it snows. I would rather take, public transportation. But if you are to drive your car at all time, then it might be better to purchase an all-wheel drive. But, now it doesn't even snow very much anymore, even in the winter, so. But I guess it's really up to you. But if I'm to buy this car, of course, it's going to be LSD, Brembo kit, electronic suspension, sports package, so I will have to go with the rear-wheel drive. Alright, well, not too many cars ahead of me, but now I'm going to switch to sports mode. Let's see what this baby can do. Show me what 252 horsepower can do. Let's go. Alright, now active sound is activated. So let's see. Here we go. It is fast. It is fast, but not that fast. I don't know. Even though this car has more horsepower than what I'm driving, but I think 0 to 60, I don't know. My 3 Series has a 190 horsepower, but acceleration wise, I don't know. This seems slower. I don't know. It's very, very hesitant in the beginning. Like when you floor it in the beginning, it just doesn't give you immediate response. I don't know why. It's just like you have like a 1 second gap in the beginning, and then it's trying to roar and trying to take off. But maybe it's because it's a heavy. But right now, accelerating from 60 or 70, yeah, this looks about 252 horsepower. This is about right, but not from the beginning. But again, suspension is working great. I love it. Oh, now I can finally tell like how good the electronic suspension is. You know what? Everything else was so great, like all other suspensions that I have encountered or experienced from all these different cars. They were so great. Maybe the road condition weren't so bad. But right now when I'm driving here on a city road, some parts are very smooth. The pavement is so smooth and some parts are a little bumpy. But the electronic suspension is responding to all the conditions, the variety conditions on the road. So like it is definitely minimizing all these impacts and shocks coming from the bottom, coming from the road. So 2 drawbacks I can tell you about this car: the ugly rear design and very hesitant acceleration when you are taking off from the beginning. If you are a sports speed maniac or a speed fanatic, then I would say go by G70 3.3 turbo, not 2.0. But 252 is always more than enough, to be honest. I mean, how many times can you actually speed on a regular basis? Okay, maybe in the States, I don't know, maybe it's a different story. But here in South Korea, small country, very crowded, I don't know, maybe at nighttime or early in the morning when there are no cars, maybe you can speed, but I mean, how many times are you actually going to speed? So, like in South Korea, like this model is just released, and like I told you, this is a 2.0 turbo, right? So, I don't know, like, the wagon is especially popular in European market, and I'm sure, there is a higher chance that they might have 3.3 turbo model in the European market. So I guess it's always best for you to test drive 2 different models, because 3.3 is, it's a lot faster. You know what, this kind of feels like the 2.5 Stinger that I have driven before. It had like a 300 horsepower, but I was constantly complaining oh, this doesn't feel like a 300 horsepower. This doesn't feel like a 300 horsepower. That's exactly how I feel. So this car is not, wasn't born to speed, but this doesn't seem like it's 252 horsepower. So that's exactly how I feel. It's like someone's grabbing your shirt from the back. So again, if you are maintaining like a 60K, 80K, that's about like 50, 60 miles per hour. And then if you're trying to accelerate from that point, okay, it's a bit better. But like again, from zero, oh, yeah, it's a bit disappointing. Alright, today I just reviewed the G70 shooting breaker model. If you are looking for or looking toward to buy a Genesis G70, I think you have one more option in your selection. G70 shooting breaker is not really a popular model in South Korea or in Asian countries, to be honest with you. But there are always some people who need what we think is not so popular. G70 shooting breaker, it has a long, big space in the trunk, and it can be utilized however you like it. So if you're looking into purchasing Genesis G70, try 2.0 G70 shooting breaker as well. Thanks for watching the video. Your likes and subscription help us make a good videos. So please subscribe.